Hello everyone, welcome to AI Anytime channel. In today's video, we are going to work on a simple but a very interesting project. Okay, so we are going to use Llama2 and Pexels to create an article generator app. Okay, where the end user will submit an idea or topic, and then will utilize a large language model, Llama2 in this case, to generate some content, and then we'll use Pexels to fetch an image related to that topic or idea, and then we'll combine it together, and we'll generate an article in a docx or doc format. Okay, now the end user can download that document which is in doc format, and he or she can edit that if required and use it for whatever purpose they want to use. So we are going to build this simple app in Streamlit, where you just submit an idea or topic, and the app will basically give you an option to download the entire article, okay, on top of it. That's what we are going to build in this video. So if you see on my screen, I have something called article generator app using Llama2. That's what we are going to build. So for example, if you see, please enter the idea topic for the article you want to generate. So I've given the input here called sustainable future, and please enter the topic for the image you want to fetch. So we can also give these options where the user can put the idea or the topic for the image as well. Most of the time what happens, you will look for a similar kind of an image like related to sustainable future, but sometimes you can also have an option to give an image of a girl or a boy, or something which might not be related but can be used as a storytelling, right? A person having a laptop in his hand, where you have some carbon footprint or something like that, right? So it's better to have both the options. For content you have a separate option, and for image you have a separate input box. So this is what we are going. And for example, when we said green world, you can see the image that we have first fetched. So we have fetched an image, okay, from Pexels. So Pexels is a stock image provider, okay, where they provide different type of stock images, videos, etc. You can also use Unsplash, Pixabay, Freestock, etc., etc. Depends, what you want to use. I have used Pexels because it's easy to use. I also use that how you can leverage Pexels to basically fetch an image. And you can see generated content by Llama2. User input sustainable future, and the text title sustainable future, why it matters and how we can achieve it. That's the title of your article. Now you can, if you want to post on Instagram or LinkedIn or on your website, if you are working as a digital marketer or SEO expert or something, right, where you, or even as a marketing guy or a content creator, you want to post something based on sustainable future, then at least you can generate some content. You can see the content that I have generated using Llama2. The world we live in today is facing numerous challenges that threaten the very survival of our planet: climate change, deforestation, etc., etc. So it's a good content that we have generated, and we'll write some prompt. And in that process of writing the prompt, I will also show you that how we can also generate better content. Now, if we have an structure where you want to basically follow in your article or blog that you write. For example, you start with some introduction, then you go in the body or methodology or description, then you end with a conclusion or something. You can also set that in the prompt. So you can also design your prompt in a way to generate the content accordingly, right? So I'm going to have a way simpler prompt, but I will explain that how you can modify that as well. So we have 3 columns here on the Streamlit application. In the first column, we have generated content by Llama2. In the second column, I have something fetched image, and in the third column, I have final article to download. So you can also download the Word document because you would like to edit it something, right, before posting it or sharing it with somebody. Now I'll show you the generated content. This is the doc that we have created. You can see over it. See it over here. We have something called sustainable future. This was the idea or topic that I have submitted here on the Streamlit application, and then I have a title, and then I have some body text or description, some article on that. You can see this can be done by transitioning to renewable energy sources such as solar and wind power, etc. And then we're talking about also require addressing social and economic inequalities, etc. So very good content, right, that I'm seeing right now. So we have used Llama2 to generate this, and then we have a title, and then we have an image that we have fetched from Pexels. So this is a separate document that I have shown earlier when I was testing it. I have tested different multiple times. So you can see the image which we have fetched using Pexels. This comes from Llama2, and then we have this in this doc file. Now you can also edit it and design it the way you want. For example, we should all follow sustainable practices or something. Okay, something like this. Okay, and now you can just save it and share somebody over an email, or somebody at your workplace, or wherever you want to use it, basically, right? You can use that. You can see the way you can also make it smaller, shorter, or something. Okay, so this is what we are going to develop in this video, guys. I'll just save this for now. So you can see this is how the interface looks like, the Streamlit interface. So for this we need few things. We need Llama2, the model. I have a couple of videos on Llama. I'll give the link in the description. We're gonna use Llama2, we're gonna use Pexels, we're gonna use request, and we're gonna also use a couple of other libraries and dependencies that I will show you. So let's build this, guys. Let me open my project folder, and I'll go inside whatever Llama2, and let me just go back. Let me rename this guy. I don't know why I renamed PPT Llama2, because I was working on an app. So that app where we're going to create PPT using Llama2 and Python. But I'm going to write this article or something. Okay, Llama2 article. And I'm going to open this in VS Code. Okay, so let me just open that in VS Code. And okay, so if you see, I already have downloaded the file, the model file of Llama2. If you want to download same model file, you can also download model files. I can show you. Maybe you can go to Meta AI Llama2 HF Hugging Face, and you can take any of this Meta Llama model. If you have a GPU machine, it might not probably work on a CPU. And you can see all the GPU based models. You can find it over here, all the original Meta Llama model, Llama2. Now if you don't have a GPU machine, then you have to go to block Llama2 HF. So you have to go to block Llama2, and you can look at all the models that Block has created as a quantized model. The compression techniques. The compression techniques are amazing, like because it helps you run LLMs on commodity hardwares, like a single consumer GPU or a good CPU machine. You can see all the GGML, GPTQ model over here, right? You can run this all on CPUs, okay, with help of quantized models. Now you have 4-bit, 8-bit quantized models. Now we are also going to see 2-bit quantized models very soon. Okay, and Karpathy has released a baby llama model. You would have seen it, right? So the development that is happening in generative AI ecosystem is fantastic. It has exceeded Moore's law, as I said. So if you want to learn more about Llama2 and couple of videos, you probably would like to visit my YouTube channel, and I'll go to my YouTube channel here. Okay, on my YouTube channel, then you can look at couple of Llama2 models. These two Llama2 video, excuse me. You can look at these couple of videos, where you have how to use Llama2 for different projects. You can also look at my LLM playlist. Now you can see I have a playlist called Large Language Model, where I have 35 videos. Okay, if you want to develop end-to-end projects, deployment, everything, whatever you want to learn in large language model, I think project focused, not too much of talk, or too much of just talking, right? It's more on development. If you want to develop a few of the things, you want to work on projects, have a look at some of the videos in LLM playlist. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to first focus on Pexels. You can look at that. This is what I'm going to utilize in this video for the article image. I'm looking at an image. Now the reason I'm using Pexels is because not everybody would have a GPU machine to run stable diffusion, for example. Now if you have a good enough machine where you can run a image generation model like stable diffusion and related models, you can also replace this workflow of image generation it's not image generation, we are just fetching the stock images with the help of an API. But if you want to use stable diffusion, please go ahead and use it, right? If you have an open source model, if you have a good VRAM on a GPU machine, I'll recommend you to use stable diffusion and see. You can also look at different image generation model, on that. Maybe you can look at diffusers repository on Hugging Face to get the diffusers model. Now what I'm going to do here, I'm going to write first the code for image. So let's write something like fetch image.py. Now I'm writing a Python file where I will write code for my image. I'll fetch the image, and the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to write import request. I'm going to use the request modules in Python, which will help you, connect with the HTTP or HTTPS and try to get something from there. That can be any type of content, mostly text. Okay, and now what I'm going to do is define fetch. Let's write a Python file, Python function that's called fetch photo, and that will take query as an input param. Okay, so input parameter, I'm passing query, and within that I'm going to write all of my code logic. The first thing that is I have to write the API key here. So let me just do API key equals your API key. I can just pass my API key because anyway it's okay. If you not follow this practice, maybe you can look at a different video that I have created where I have set the API keys and env file, and then I'm using it from there. But for this, anyway, I will delete it after this video. Now in the URI, the first thing is HTTPS. You have to look at their endpoint. So if you come here on the Pexels, on the documentation, you can look at that's their HTTPS endpoint. That's the endpoint for all of their stock images. Now what I'm going to do here, I'm just going to paste this over here, v1, and then it's a search. That's called search because we're going to search a photo based on a query. That's what URI is, or I don't know why I wrote URI. It should be URL, resource locator, and then the URL, and then I will write my headers. Okay, so within these headers, I'm just gonna write. So headers are a key value pair. It's a dictionary, right? So I'm gonna write authorization. So my authorization are nothing but the API key. I'm just going to authorize with my API key. I'll just give my API key, and I'm okay with headers now. Now I have set my API keys, and I have an URL where I can search some of the photos based on the query. So now we have to use that parameter, right? The query parameter. So that's what I'm gonna write here. So the params equals, and it's again a key value pair. So we have to write in this form and gonna give it a key value. It's a dictionary, right? So what I'm gonna do here is query, and my query is nothing but we have to write query, which is our input parameter in the function arg. So query as query, and then I'm gonna only look at per page one. So I'm just gonna write per page one. Okay, I don't need a lot of photos, a single photo just to showcase. Now you can play around it, guys. So response, and in that response what I'm gonna do is request.get. Okay, and request, I'll just go. Okay, so URL params, and my params is not params. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm first gonna write headers. So my headers equals headers, and my params equals params. Now this is response. Now this is the response. So we are using a request library, the request module in Python, and we are gonna use get because we are going to fetch a photo, fetch a data. When we are basically pushing some data, that's going to use a post method. Okay, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you can only use post for that purpose. You can also use post depending on what kind of, there are a lot of other things that goes behind get and post, guys. Okay, so if you look at the URL itself, the browser URL, even the number of input also plays a huge role. So what kind of method you are using. So if you are using get method, then these browsers have limitations on the URL input. So that's where a lot of people also uses post, which gives you better length of tokens or words within that input URL. So that's API specification. So now the response request.get, and now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to check if the request was successful. So let's write that. So check if the request was successful. So basically 200 is status code. So status code is 200 or something like this. Okay, now what I'm going to do here, I'm going to say okay, if response dot status code equals 200, then okay, print all my data inside this. Okay, now I have data, so my data is nothing but the response. So let me just write response dot json, because I'm expecting a json value or json. So it's okay, data equals to response dot json. Now I already know that what kind of data I get in pixels, so I'm just going to write that extra line of code also, but I will explain why I'm writing this code, because I only need the original source of that image. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is, okay, let's write photos. Okay, so photos equals data, so we're going to write data dot get, and let's use the photos. So the first thing is photos, and then I'm going to pass an empty list. That's it, photos, and then an empty list. And now within this, if there is a photo, so let me just write if photos. Now what I'm going to write is src, let's write a variable src original, excuse me, it's a source original image. I only need the URL of this image that I'm trying to fetch, because I can use that URL at a lot of other places to preview it, to view it, to pass it within the document, right? So I just only need the URL of that. So source original URL, and that is basically photos and the first one, and within that I only need the src key of that, and then I only need the original. Okay, so I already know the format of pixel that I'm doing it, but probably if you're doing it for the first time, you should print the data response. Okay, this data, you should do a print data and see what you are getting for your learning purpose, but I already know that what kind of response I get in pixels. Now src original URL, photos the first one, the indexing, and then the source, and then the original. Okay, now I'm just gonna return this. So let's return, so return source original URL, and now I'm just gonna write an else, or else just do a print could no, like something, no photo found or something, no photos found. Okay, so if there is no photo for that query, then it will get executed and it will say okay, no photos found. So that's why I'm doing this. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to write else for this as well, on the error code. So if you get any other code, error code, I'll just gonna print it over here. Error response plus status code, something like this. Okay, or let me just write in a better way. So error, and in this error, let's have a key value pair. So what I'm gonna do is response the status code, and then I'm gonna also give the response text. Okay, that's what we get. Okay, fine, this makes sense. Now print response text. And now let's return this guy. So this is how the function will get returned. Return none. I'm gonna return nothing if this gets. Okay, so for error, there is something wrong. You cannot write like this. So let me just do this. I can also write here. Now this will not be here after error. Okay. Cool. So this is okay. Now this is the function of fetch photo, which will get a photo from pixels based on your query or input or idea, whatever we name it. Now what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna just use this. So example uses of this function or something like this. So let's write this, and now what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna pass a query here. So let's pass our query as quantum or something. What should we write? Or let me write a circular economy. Okay, so I'm just going to write circular economy. This is my query, circular economy. Okay, something with the sustainability. Now what I'm going to write is, let's have a variable called source original URL, and then I'm going to just use a function called fetch photos. And what was the function name? Excuse me, fetch photo. Okay, and in this fetch photo, what I'm going to pass is my query as an input parameter and query. And now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to check if src original, you can also do a not none or something, but it's okay. If src original, then just print it. Okay, now what I'm going to print is the original URL. Okay, let's write like this. So original URL is source. So let's write in a better way. So original URL, now let's write for, then I'm going to write my query. So let's write query, and then let's write, okay, so the query will be in this format, for query. So original URL for query, we can also, so why would you need colon here? We don't need here, so I will just give a space and then give colon here. Okay, so now I'll just give a colon and src original URL. I'll close this and I will just close this. Cool, that's it. So the function is done. Okay, we have written a function for fetch image.py. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to run this and see if this works. Okay, so let me just go to conda activate Langchain. I'm going to activate my Langchain environment and I'm just going to run this file. So let's run this file, python fetch underscore image.py, and you can see that I got an image so fast. I'll just maybe I can copy this, right? So let's copy this link, guys, and I'm gonna copy this link and come here and I'm gonna paste and see, we'll get an image, a fantastic image, right? The same image that I was showing in the beginning. This is kind of same, the same image of circular economy, you can see, right? So good enough image to keep in a PPT or an article, right, when you are writing it or posting it somewhere. So we are done with our fetch image py, and this code will also be available if you want to use Pexels for one of your use cases. You can also utilize this, but I'm going to write an app.py function. So let me just write an app.py function here, and in this py function I'm going to write all my code. So all of my code logic for article will go inside this. So I'm going to write everything in this app.py. So let's first bring some Langchain thingy. So I'm going to use LLMs input. I'm going to use C transformers because I'm going to load this LLM within, I'm going to load a quantized GGML model through C transformers, which is a C++ binding for transformers, which helps me load this model on a faster inference rate. Okay, it also provide me a faster inference as well. And so LLMs import C transformers, and I'm going to also have Langchain.chains. I need LLM chain, so I'm going to use LLM chain, and then from Langchain, import prompt template. Okay, with Langchain, these are 3 requirements from Langchain. Now what I'm going to do is having Streamlit, so import Streamlit, add st, and then I also need import OS. So let's do that. So import OS, and then I need from DOCX. From DOCX import document. This is a library that will help us create that doc file, okay, in a DOCX format. Okay, so from DOCX import document, and then we also need one more thing from docx.shared. Why I'm not getting shared? What about that? Shared. Okay, let's see. From docx shared import inches. We have to define the inches for the width within the document. So from docx.shared, and now I also need an IO for buffer. So import IO. I have to save that buffer, right, guys? Text to put that in a document in Streamlit. So import IO, and then I need pillow for as well for image. So import image to open that image, and then I'm gonna also need a request. So let's use request. So import request, that's it. So this is what we need. These are the dependencies, guys. First let's load the model. So I'm going to load the model here. So let's load the model. I'm going to just copy this code. I'll go back to my GitHub repository and I'll see, I can take Llama2 medical chatbot, and here I'll just go to model, and in this model I'm going to just copy this load LLM thingy. I just need a single function from my one of the GitHub repository, and that's it. So what I'm doing here, I have a function called load LLM that I'm using a C transformers function, and within that I am passing my model. My model name is Llama2 7B chat GGML, model type is Llama, and I'm going to give a max tokens of, for example, okay, let's make some changes in this function, guys. Okay, let's end user define the max token. Maybe through prompt we can define. So let me just write max tokens here. So let me just write max tokens, and then in here I can pass my max tokens as an input parameter, and I can also pass something called prompt template here. So let's pass prompt template also. So we're gonna passing two things. We're gonna pass maximum number of tokens we are expecting, as an in article and also the prompt template. And let's increase the temperature for to ask Llama to become little creative and to generate little creative responses, and on the randomness as well. So let me just call it 0.7. Okay, to increase. And then I'm not going to return LLM here because we also have to do a few things. So now what I'm going to do here, I'm going to write a variable called LLM chain. So in this chain, what I'm going to do, I'm going to use LLM chain from Langchain, and within this chain, I'm going to write a few things. The first is LLM, and this LLM is nothing but the LLM variable that I have defined above, where I'm loading the model through C transformers. Now I'm going to use a prompt template. So prompt template, and in this prompt template, from template, okay, from underscore templates, if I'm not wrong, template, yes, and I'm going to pass prompt template. That's it. Okay, now I'm just going to return this LLM chain. So this is the model code. That's fine. This is perfectly fine. Now what I'm going to do, let's also copy this, guys. I've created fetch image.py. Maybe I can use it from here also, but let's paste it over here in a single file. Okay, now we are getting this. We don't need all of these things, so let me just remove this for now. Okay, so this is okay. Now, so what we are doing here, we are returning this none. Okay, now we have to write couple of more functions. So the first function that we are going to write is, we need one more function to create the Word document. I'll just plug in my. So let's write a function called define create Word doc or something. Okay, create Word doc or Word doc is DOCX. So let's write DOCX. The format is DOCX. Okay, so create. Now it will take user input. So let's write user input, and this will take paragraph. So paragraph user input, and then we also take image input. So let's write image input. Okay, so these are the input parameters within that function. Now we need is we have to call that document that we have imported. So document. Perfect. This is basically if you are familiar with OOP, when we used to write code in Java, we used to call constructors. Where we different terminologies and different also the function, also the way it works, right? So don't get confused with it. Okay, so doc equals to document, and now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add heading first. So doc dot add, and in that add underscore heading. So it will help us add the heading within the doc file, okay, that we are creating. This is nothing but our user input. Doc dot add heading. Something is missing. It's not one. Let me just hover over this function. I think it's level 1. Okay, doc dot add heading, user input and level 1, and the next is doc dot add paragraph. So underscore paragraph, and in this I'm gonna pass the paragraph. That's it. So this is what I have added so far within this document. This is the function that we are writing. Now the next is we are going to add the image into it. So what I'm going to do is doc dot add heading. So add heading, I'm not going to pass user input. Here we'll have image. Okay, that's image is fine. Okay, image, and then I'm going to pass level 1 again. Doc dot add heading. Okay, this is for layout, guys. Okay, the level that we are using. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to have an image stream. So image stream, and this image stream is nothing but the io.bytes that I'm going to use. Excuse me, io.bytes io. Yes, and let's just call this function image stream of bytes io. And now the next is image input dot save. So image input dot save, and I'm going to save this image stream. So image stream, and then let's keep a PNG format for this. That's it, format PNG. So image input dot save. Now the next thing is image input dot not close. Okay, we are seek. So let's use seek 0. image input.seek, and then let's add the picture. So add underscore picture. That's it. Yes, I wrote it wrong. Doc dot add picture. I'm gonna pass image frame, and width equals, let's have some inches. So what would be the width of that image that we are going to put in a document? So let's have maybe 3 inch. 3 will be a little lesser, so we can have 5 or 4. So let's keep 4 for now and see what kind of images we are getting. I think it's 4. So width inches 4, and the next is, let's just return the doc. So doc, that's it. Very simple, but you can go through this the library, guys, on GitHub. I'll share the link in the description. The DOCX that we are using, right? The Python DOCX, the DOCX library. Now you can go around it. They have a lot of other customization, mechanism that you can customize the app. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use st.set page config. I want to use a wide layout on my Streamlit app. So what I'm gonna do is config, and I'm gonna pass layout equals wide. Layout equals wide, and I'm gonna use a def main quickly. In def main, within this, I'm just gonna write pass for now, and if name underscore main, all my Streamlit code goes inside this main function. And the first thing is st.title, and title is like article generator app using Llama2, app using Llama2. That's it. Title Llama2. Now what I'm gonna have is an user input, and this user input is nothing but st.text input. And in this text input, the first thing that I'm gonna write is, please enter your topic or idea for article generation. That's it. And then I'm gonna also have an image input. So I'm gonna have image input, and the same thing. So I'll just copy this, guys. Okay, so image input, and I'll just copy this for image generation. For image, I'm not use generation. I'm not gonna generate image. Okay, we are just fetching an image. If you want to use image generation model, I will recommend you should use stable diffusion. Go and use the diffusers model for stable diffusion. If you want to use completely open source, because Llama2 we are using, it's an open source. If you don't want to use an API for fetching the image, you can use a open source image generation model. Make a complete open source app, host it somewhere, and sell it for guide. Sell it as a subscription for $5 per month. That's so many things that you can do as a startup idea, right? Build a software as a service platform for article generation. Put some tones in prompt. Give tones option. Give the category or domain options. You can customize this in a different way, guys. It's just how you imagine to build that application. Now, if length user input and length image input greater than 0, where there's some value inside it. If there's no value, then don't execute the rest of the code. Okay, call 2, call 3. I'm just dividing this in 3 columns, and then I'm going to use st.columns, and I'm going to use this 1 to 1 format. Okay, give twice the double width to the middle column 2, and in that I'm going to write with column 1. And with column 1, what I'm going to do is I'm going to write all my code logic for column 1 into this one. So let's do that. So with column 1, so with column 1, what I'm going to do is st.subheader, and in that I'm going to write generated content or something. Okay, generated content by Llama2. Generated content by Llama2. This is my subheader, and I also write st.write your submitted idea topic for article generation, and I'm gonna just use this something like plus, not user, it's user input. That's it. This is for sure. Write for that image input, and I'm gonna just use this here, not generation, for image, and this is image input, and this is on the right. Okay, so what I'm going to do now next is important. So let's write a simple prompt. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to write a prompt template, prompt, and within this I'm going to write my prompt, and I'm going to say, okay, that I'm going to give a role to a large language model. So I'm going to say, okay, you are a digital marketing expert, digital marketing and SEO expert, search engine optimization expert, and your task is to generate, I'll then do Alt G, generate articles, generate articles for a given topic. So to write an article, on, and I'll give the topic name. Here I'm going to write my topic. I'll write an article on topic, something like this, okay. Topic under 800 words. Your article must be lengthy, length of 800 words or 800 words. This is okay, 800 words. Stick to the topic given by the user. Above, given by the user, don't write above, you never know that which line we are in, right? So we're not using /n or something. Let's don't confuse a large language model, okay guys. Stick to the topic given by the user and maintain a professional but at the same time creative tone. So I've written a very simple prompt. Okay, you can write even better prompt than this for this particular task, and that's up to you, and I'm leaving that to you. But this is a simple prompt template where we are saying, okay, we are giving a role, we are assigning a role to a large language model. Okay, say we are saying you are a digital marketing and SEO expert, and we are also giving a task to it. Your task is to generate articles for given topics. So write an article on topic under 800 words. So we are setting a hard limit of 800, where we have defined max new tokens. If you go on the go it over here, and you can see the token that we are not giving it over here, that's fine. So we have max tokens equals max tokens, fine. So we are going to use that in the below section. Your article must be length of 800 words, stick to the topic given by the user, and maintain a professional balance. You can also give the option, this option on the UI itself, the Streamlit interface or any other application that you are building. So let user submit that, guys. Let user submit that number of tokens. Basically, one token means 4 characters, okay, in natural language, on average, on approx. It's not final, okay, but that's what the industry says. Okay, so you can also let user input this numbers, and you can just let LLMs to generate the content. Now we are okay with it, so let's have an LLM call. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to say, okay, LLM call, and I'm going to call this. So load LLM, so load underscore LLM, the function that we have. And what are the function? The function is load LLM. Okay, now we're going to pass 2 parameters within it, okay, because that's what we have said. So max token, so let's make it self-explanatory here. So max token, as we have written in the prompt, 800, but you can also take it from the end user. Okay, so just have a input box or have some number or something, slider with number. Okay, depends what you want to do. And prompt template, and the prompt template is nothing but, okay, it's why is coming capital, I don't know. Okay, prompt template, it might be something with the Langchain or something, I don't know. Okay, prompt, excuse me, I don't know why I'm writing here prompt template over here. So let me see on my monitor, prompt template. Okay, prompt template, and this prompt template is nothing but the prompt that I've written on top, prompt template. That's it. Here we go. So we have our LLM call now. Okay, let's also print this LLM call and see what are we getting into this. So LLM call, and now we are going to use a result variable. Let's call a result variable and then use this LLM call. So I'm going to write LLM call, and I'm going to pass my user input within this. So let's pass an user input. That's it. Here we go. So now let's do a validation check. If this Llama, if Llama is not generating any content for this, we should get an error. So we should write an error handling mechanism as well. We should have some error handling. We will try except or something. For now, we can have an if conditional. So if length result greater than 0, it means if there is any value that Llama had generated, then just write that in info. Your article has been generated successfully or something. Your info, excuse me, and just I'm gonna use a write here. So your article, not you, it's a result. So I'm just gonna write a result. Your write result. If not, just give us error here. So else use error. You can use the error message in Streamlit. Sorry, we could not generate articles for you for this topic or something. Okay, let LLM decide that. Okay, let's LLM. I'm saying, okay, LLM is accountable for all of this. Okay, I'm not accountable. Okay, sorry, we could not generate. Okay, error and something that we can write. Okay, oh, sorry, I wrote it outside. I don't know why. Okay, fine. Now we are done with this. Okay, we are done with column 1. So let's write for column 2 for now. Okay, so what I'm gonna do here, and column 2 should be our simple thingy, not much of thing in column 2. Let's write a subheader here, subheader, and within this I'm gonna write my article image. Okay, so your article had not that. So for now it's gonna do your article's fetched image or something. Okay, your article's fetched image. This is going to be my header for the second column. Okay, the column 2. I'm gonna use my image URL here, guys. So image URL, and I'm gonna use my temp image. That way I'm saving that image. Okay, so let's write temp image dot jpeg. Okay, so here I'm gonna just write temp image dot jpeg, and that's what I'm gonna doing here, guys. Okay, fantastic. Fine, so let me just bring my screen here for this. Okay, image URL, so temp image dot jpg, not jpeg, and then I'm gonna have our doc, but that too in column 3, not in column 2. So let's just show that. So ht.view, not ht.view, ht.image. Okay, so ht.image, and I'm just gonna show this image inside this. So that will be your image URL. Okay, so let's have one more column here, guys. So with column 3, the last one where we'll use it, but let's run this and see if you're getting any error or something, because we get error when we write code. Now for this, I'm just gonna have something like subheader, okay, and say coming soon, not coming soon. Download your article or something. Download your article. Here we'll have that option to download your article, and then we'll write pass. Okay, fine for now. Okay. Now this is okay. Now we have this couple of, let's run this, guys, now. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm going to write Streamlit run app.py, the file name, and you can run it. And you can see that we have something here. Okay, we have called article generator app using Llama2, and here you can please enter your topic or idea for the article generation. Please enter your topic or idea for image. What idea should we give? I'm not sure. Let's give quantum computing. Now you want to write a blog or article on quantum computing, you can also write that through this app. Okay, so I'm just also gonna write quantum computing. Okay, quantum computing. I don't know why I am, but my accent becomes like that. Okay, okay, so we have quantum computing, and let's quantum computing, or maybe for image I can write quantum simulation. Now let's hit enter. You can see please enter to apply. So let's hit enter and see if we are getting any error. It says name col1 is not defined. Okay, this kind of typo. I don't know how I become a programmer, guys. If I'm making this kind of silly mistakes. Okay, name col1. So now what I'm gonna do here is I'm just gonna hit enter again. Okay, I'll just do a rerun. Okay, it says load LLM got an unexpected keyword argument. Okay, which is prompt template. Okay, let's see what have we given over here in load LLM. Okay, sorry, this is not prompt template. That's my bad. Okay, that's why I was getting that that time, but now it should work fine. Okay, there's something wrong with that. Okay. Now it will take little time because Llama 2 is running behind it. So what I will do, I will pause the video because it will take 30 to 45 seconds. I will resume once it gets completed, guys. Okay, and here you can see, right, we got our response, okay, on both content and the image. So on the content, you can see your article has been generated successfully. I think we should not say article here, we should rather say your content has been generated. Article will come here. Okay, we'll work on this one, the article part, now in column 3. I think we have to change the labels here. We'll do that when we are writing the code. And we got some good enough text, guys. You can again play with the prompt. The more you play with the prompt, better response you will get. Prompts are unexplored, okay, right now. People are jailbreaking systems with prompt itself. Rather than going into the architecture, it's they are just prompting and playing with it, breaking the system. Now you can also see where your article's fetched image doesn't look like a quantum related image to me, but I think I made a mistake here on simulation because it's showing some simulation, some simulated screens over here. But this makes sense. You can at least use this as a storytelling, okay, because we're not using an AI generated image. We're just fetching it through some stock images or stock images repositories, okay. And again, you can change it over there. It's not a problem. Now let's make a couple of changes here, guys. So the first thing is maybe we can change not your article, your content. Your content has been generated successfully. We could not generate content for you cannot generate content for this topic. Now here comes our column 3. It's pretty much straightforward. We will not spend a lot of time on column 3. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to write, so we need a couple of things. The first thing is image input, and your image input is nothing but the temp image that you can see. Okay, so I'm just going to use temp image. So temp underscore img jpg rather, not jpeg, sorry, image input, and then my doc. So my doc, and I'm going to write the doc. So doc, and my doc is the function that I'm going to use. So it's create word docx. Okay, this is my function, create docx. I'm going to pass my user input. I'm going to pass my image input. Of course, we'll pass the image input through Pillow. So first thing that we have to do is also to write a result, and we only need the text for this. So let's write text, and the result is a variable that you can see it over here that we have in line number 97, right? The result which has the content. Okay, so result text, and here I'm going to use Pillow here. So image dot open, and within this open I'm going to pass my image input. That's it. We're going to have this image within a doc. Okay, so this is the doc. Now let's save the word doc. Okay, save the word document to a bytes IO buffer. Okay, so I'm gonna have in the buffer. So for that, what we're gonna do is doc underscore buffer, and in that buffer IO dot bytes IO. Excuse me, I don't know why this typo there. IO dot bytes IO and doc underscore buffer. And the next thing is I'm going to save this. So I think it's doc. Let me see if I have save here. Okay, we have save as a class, and we're going to pass doc buffer. We're going to save this, and let's seek. So doc buffer does seek. Okay, that's it. So we are okay with it. Now we have to create a download button. Okay, so let's write Streamlit download button or something. Okay. Button. Okay, now st.download, they have a download button option, and within this you're gonna write label first. What will be the label of this button? I'm gonna say download article, download your article or something. Okay, this is your label. I have to give comma after this. Okay, it's accept parameters, and then your data is nothing but your data is doc buffer. So let's write this doc buffer, and then your file name. So my file name is nothing but the document doc. Let's write doc, like doc final or something. Okay, doc final dot docx. This is my docx, and then I need an MIME or the MIME for this, and I think okay, application is good. So let's see if tab 9 can suggest that. Not octet stream. I need VND. Yes, but open Excel office document dot spread, not spreadsheet. Till this it's fine. Formats office, okay, down to open XML formats office documents or document, and then I need Word document. So Word, yes, word processing, XML, word processing, not XML, word processing ML or something. Okay, word processing, yes, this is what I need. This makes sense. Okay. Now that's it. We are done with this, guys. So now let's do one thing. Let's run this again and see if we are getting a download. So right now if you see, we are waiting for this download your article. So what I will do, I will again rerun it, because again it will take at least 30 to 40 seconds for the entire workflow to get completed. So I will run it again and I will start once it gets completed. Okay, so you can see that we have our download your article button here, where you can download the entire docx file which contains this content on quantum computing and this fetched image that we have fetched. Now download your article. But before that, also that was the change. I made couple of line changes here, okay, because we were not saving that file, okay, that temp image.jpg. So we are passing that now here itself, okay, through io.bytes.io and image response.content. So what I did earlier, it was temp image.jpg. So now I hashed that because I was getting some error. Now in this image response, I'm getting this image URL request.get image URL, and now I'm converting it to a bytes IO buffer, and that holds our image now, and that we are passing it image here. That's the line of changes that I made, okay, here in the code. Simple thing. So this image URL is already on the internet, so we are getting that again through a request module, and then we have we are using pillow image to open that image, and when we are having the buffer of that image, okay, image response.content, and then we are putting that inside this create word docx function, so we can have a final docx file with the user input, the text and the image. That's what we are getting here, guys. Okay, simple thing. That's two lines of changes. Okay, so that's what I did, and now if you see, we have our download your article thing over here, which downloads the file doc final one docx or something. Okay, so I'll just open this file. Okay, now once I open this file, you can see a beautiful article that we have got. Okay, how does quantum computing works? Topic: quantum computing is a rapidly growing field that has gained significant attention in recent years due to its potential to revolutionize computing and solve complex problems that are currently unsolvable with traditional computers. In this article, we will explore what quantum computing is and how it works and potential applications. So it could not complete potential applications, but you can play with the max tokens and frequency penalty, etc. To get this longer or the lengthier, okay, or the way you design the prompt. Now we are getting what is quantum computing, how does quantum computing work, and then we have an image input, the image for that, and we are getting this in a docx file. Now you can edit this, you can put your own perspective or thought within this, and you can create a powerful perspective out of it, and that too with an open source large language model. That's what the main agenda was, right, guys? So you have this docx file now, which has been stored here in this folder, in the download folder. You can see it over here. Fantastic. So this is what we were looking for, right? So that simple thing that I have changed in the this couple of lines to put that image in the docx file. We are using a large language model, and we have created this very beautiful but very powerful application that you see it over here. Okay, article generator app using Llama2, where the end user submits their idea or topic, it generates the content, fetches an image, and then also gives you option to download that particular docx file that you have created, right, that you have generated here. So this is what I wanted to do in this video, guys. I wanted to cover this. I'm also working on a couple of other videos that how you can create an automated PPT as well, and that we can also send it to over mail or something. So PPT generation using Llama2, Python PPTX, and stable diffusion, for example. Okay, that video is also coming soon. So stay tuned if you are looking for some open source based PPT generation app. Okay, so that's all for this video, guys. I hope you like the content of this video. If you liked it, please hit the like icon, and if you haven't subscribed the channel yet, to subscribe. the channel. You can also look at different other videos in the LLM playlist over my channel, and please share the video and channel with your friends and to peer. The code will be given to this code will be given in the through GitHub in the video description. Please go ahead and take the code base from GitHub, and you can extend this further. Let me know what you build on top of it. That's all. Thank you so much for watching, guys. See you in the next one.